16-year-old and the suspected shooter is still on the loose. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos in North Hills with the update. Ed?
And Christine, all of that still has this entire area sealed off by LAPD, an active investigation as you have that 16-year-old in the ER now being treated and the suspected shooter thought to be an actual student here from the middle school. Joe, take us into the story, will you? You talked about Plummer Street here just off Sepulveda. It's all sealed off. LAPD all over the place. You see those flashing yellow lights there. They just run on a tow truck. And they're taking away that car. Presumably, that may be the car of that 16-year-old, the 10th grader from a nearby high school who came over here and then winds up being rushed to the ER after gunfire and after some of the students, the witnesses say, turned out to be a brawl that led to that gunfire. Let's get to it. To the video we go. Emergency response here. Paramedics rushing that 16-year-old off to the ER, one gunshot wound as he was rushed off. His condition at that point said to be serious. And LA school police only telling us the shooting did not happen here on the campus of the Sepulveda Middle School, but it happened presumably right across the street, right near the campus, strong enough and close enough to put the entire middle school on lockdown, also close enough to put a lot of the students here into a panic, screaming as they heard that gunfire. And the information we're getting is that there was some type of brawl, and all of a sudden that suspected shooter, an 8th grader from the middle school here, fires a shot. Listen to some of this.
The kid got shot and the kids were running, and there's two kids having a brawl, and a bullet just shot off and shot a kid in the leg, and he was bleeding a lot. It was one shot, like super loud, and everybody just started running,
Screaming.
Yeah.
So the one who was doing the shooting is a student.
Yes.
Here at the middle school.
Yeah.
One of my son's friends sent me a message saying that they were on lockdown and they couldn't find my kid. So that's how I found out. Then I called school and then nobody answers. They're your kids. Yeah. I sent my kids to school good in good conditions and in good hands. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on, she says. Oh, that is the big question. Is now you are looking live. So many of the parents relieved that they were able to pick up their child, relieved that everything was okay. Their boy, their girl was not hurt in all of this. And then shaking their heads saying as the story was developing and they were finding out more, how in the world does an 8th grader here at the middle school wind up with a gun? And presumably a lot of the parents were asking the question, we don't know the answer to it. Did that 8th grader perhaps have the gun on campus before all of this happened? We don't know all of that. The school police investigating this as we come back out here. We can also tell you that LAPD will have extra patrols here on campus in the morning, and at this hour they're still out looking for that shooter, presumably that 8th grader, to find him and make an arrest, but no arrest yet, as the condition of the 16-year-old, again, not a student, the victim, not a student here of the middle school, said to be serious condition. Back to you.
So we're assuming if he's 16, he's a student at maybe another school nearby. I mean, it sounds like those kids, Ed, knew who the shooter was, so it seemed like logically it would just be a matter of time before they arrest him, know where he lives.
Well, you're right. Right. I would think that's the case, and maybe that's why police are being so mum, not giving any information to everybody, because they know who they're looking for and they just want to make an arrest. But yes, so many of the students said they knew both of the students involved. They knew the 8th grader from the middle school here, and they also knew that 10th grader. So they knew everything that was going on. And as they said, they knew what was happening. They just ducked for cover when they heard that one gunshot, because they had no idea if there was going to be more gunfire following all of that.
Just heartbreaking when you think of their ages. All right, Ed, thank you so much. Tonight, a massive blow to the world's biggest concert giant. A federal jury delivers a stunning verdict against Live Nation, formally declaring the company an illegal monopoly.
Fox 11, Gina Silva live in Hollywood. What this means for folks who are paying for tickets and the future of live music. Gina?
Yeah, that's right. You know, the jury found that Live Nation had not been playing by the rules and had not done so for many, many years. And of course, it's the consumers who've been paying for it.
I think all monopolies suck.
On the street, music fans who spend big money on concert tickets say they're not surprised. A New York federal jury found Live Nation illegally running a monopoly.
It's horrible. I'm glad that there's been attention drawn to it.
What they say you're going to pay, we don't have a choice to shop around. If people had a choice to shop around, things would probably be a lot different.
That's exactly what the jury decided. Live Nation controls the venues, the promoters, and Ticketmaster. Prosecutors say that means fans have nowhere else to go, and prices stay high. In addition, artists are forced to choose Live Nation promoters.
So if an artist wanted to book an event at a Live Nation venue, they couldn't use their own promoters, or they couldn't use a third-party ticketing company.
Nima Rahmani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, calls it a huge win for concert goers, but says don't hold your breath for a refund.
Consumers who have paid for tickets already may not see money back because this wasn't a class action or a lawsuit filed by the concert goers. This was filed by the Department of Justice and the Attorney Generals trying to change Live Nation's behavior going forward. Now, the judge can still award damages, but that money may not necessarily make its way into the pockets of the people who have already paid.
Live Nation is disputing the verdict and plans to appeal, but I can tell you from speaking with folks, they do see this as a major victory for many of the concert fans. Christine, Phil, I don't know when you went to a concert last, but I can tell you the tickets are ridiculously expensive.
No, we hear concerts being,
yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
It's not just the tickets, but it's the fees. That's what upsets people.
So Gene, I think people are watching this and they're still asking the question, so what does this mean for me?
Exactly. Eventually, it's not going to happen overnight, but eventually we'll have a little bit of some more choices. At this time, if you want to watch a concert, go to a concert, and an artist is connected with Live Nation, you have to purchase the tickets specifically through Ticketmaster. That's going to change once the judge decides what the punishment will be. And even the punishment could be that they completely force Live Nation to give up Ticketmaster. So it just depends. There'll be another hearing to determine that. But again, this is something that's going to take years to resolve because Live Nation is going to fight this.
All right, Gina, thanks so much.
Developing tonight, Lancaster City Council members appear to be at the center of an FBI investigation. You see there aerial footage of agents executing search warrants at the homes of council members and at City Hall this morning. Fox 11's Nick Garcia explains.
FBI agents swarmed the home of Lancaster's outgoing Vice Mayor Marvin Christ Wednesday morning and Lancaster City Hall, leaving behind a huge question: why? Skyfox was overhead as this man, appearing to be Christ, sat in the backyard of the home during the raid. Several agents seen carrying packages and paperwork and taking photos. The home of outgoing City Council member Raj Mali was also raided. The Department of Justice could not tell us the reason for the investigation, as the warrants are under seal.
Actually, I'm shocked.
Lancaster Mayor R. Rex Paris says he knew the FBI had been investigating Christ for at least 3 years, but he says he did not know what they were looking into.
We hired law firms to investigate because I needed to know, was there anything that I should know about as the mayor? And they came back and said no. I'm really kind of at a loss. I know that I've served with these two men for over 18 years, and they've always been honorable.
I wish I could say I was shocked. I wish I would say I was surprised. Something was already brewing.
Community activist Miguel Coronado says he's been suspicious of corruption for years.
I'm calling on the city of Lancaster to suspend all contracts that Marvin Christ has been involved in, that the mayor has been involved in, until all this is settled.
The mayor's response:
so let's wait before we destroy people's reputations when we don't even know what it's about. I would just caution people, let's be mature adults and let's wait for the facts.
Now, we did ask Mr. Christ if he would speak with us on camera, but he declined. Meanwhile, Mayor Paris says he was never asked himself by the FBI to be interviewed or be involved in the investigation. He does say, though, he knows others were asked to wear wires. In Lancaster, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
We are inching closer to Election Day with the June 2nd primary now less than 2 months away. The biggest race we're watching is the California governor's race, and the two candidates with the most votes, regardless of party, following the primary, will face off in November, again, regardless of party. That's a big issue in this race right now.
Well, one of the candidates looking to replace termed-out Governor Gavin Newsom Here with us live in the studio, former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. Welcome, good to see you.
Good to see the two of you.
Thanks for being here.
So first question is, simply, why are you the best person for the job?
I'm a proven problem solver. Been Speaker of the Assembly. Balanced two budgets with a surplus when we were a purple state with a Republican governor and a Democrat. The author of the largest expansion of health care for children, healthy families. When I was mayor, by the way, of the largest city in the state, second largest city in the country, LA was one of the most violent big cities in the country. When I left, it was one of the safest. 48% drop in violent crime, a 60% increase in the graduation rate, built more infrastructure than anybody in America, number one city with reducing greenhouse gases. We need a leader who's not focused on the next job, but a leader who's going to take on the tough issues that frankly are facing us. And that means a leader strong enough and experienced enough to take on the special interests, to take on the fraud that occurs, to take on what's broken.
We should note that you all did a half hour prior to this interview here on our Fox Local app. You can look that up there. I'm wondering, of all your endorsements, who do you think, give me one endorsement that speaks to you?
Barbara Boxer.
Senator.
Senator Barbara Boxer, former senator, someone I've known since she first ran for Senate, a woman that has the courage of her convictions, and someone who is passionately in support of my candidacy. As she always says, you are the most experienced person, the only one with chief executive experience, and big supporter. And
so the record that you just cited when Christine asked you, that did not resonate with voters in 2018 when you ran for governor unsuccessfully. So why will it make a difference today, do you think?
That's a great question. I think because people feel like things are broken.
Yeah.
This state isn't affordable.
shape,
I was saying that then. I was saying we're the fourth largest economy in the world with the highest poverty rate. We continue to be that state. But things have gotten so unaffordable in this state that people are just up to here. They can't afford the price of gas. They can't afford utilities, which have gone up 60%, or rent and home prices, which are the highest in the continental United States.
So since you've been in office, the issue of homelessness has changed in a whole different way. Your face, right?
Dramatically
Horror in your
increased.
face, right? So what would you do now?
What would I do now? Well, if I was governor, what I'd do is figure out why we spent $24 billion, and during that period, homelessness went up. The LAO, the legislative analyst, said, they looked at it, they audited it, and they said there were only two programs that worked. One, rental assistance, so people don't get homeless in the first place, and the second one, the Home Keep program for temporary housing. So what I've said is, we won't criminalize homelessness, we will be compassionate, but we won't allow chaos in this state. And chaos is selling drugs in front of cops. It's, encampments everywhere, including in front of schools and parks, because we know what neighborhood they'll be in. We won't throw money at the problem. Like, here's another example. We spend $850,000 a unit in Santa Monica, more than $1 million for homeless housing. In LA, we're building tiny homes for $100,000 to $130,000. You have a right to shelter, but not an $850,000 unit, because our kids can't afford that.
So you mentioned Barbara Boxer. Mayor Bass has endorsed you. You've endorsed her.
She was the second one I would have.
I'm just wondering, for people that they don't want to listen to all necessarily the fine points of the plan, which they should, but more like who you are as a person. You mentioned Barbara Boxer as someone who you admire. Who is like your political hero? Who's your inspiration to get into all of this?
Well, it was the farm worker movement. Dolores Huerta is an example, was somebody that inspired me as a 15-year-old when I got involved in the farm worker boycott. I knew that, I grew up in a home of domestic violence and alcoholism. My mom was struggling to make ends meet. And I knew that when I was the first to graduate from college and then law school, I knew I had a responsibility to give back. And later, when I broke glass ceilings, I'd say that the role of the first is not to bang on your chest and say how great I am, because you came on the shoulders of others. The role of the first is to open up the door for the rest. I understand, which is why I've made this pledge for one term, that the next governor's got to focus every single day on the problems, not on whether he's going to keep the job or look for the next one. I want to take on these issues. I know I have the wherewithal, the experience to do that, and that's why I'm running.
So how do you work with or not with the Trump administration?
Look, I worked with Pete Wilson. We
Republican.
Republican.
Well, they're hardly similar, though.
Well, that's true. Pete,
no one is similar to President Trump.
That's exactly right. Look, I've said we'll work with him where we can, fight him when we have to. There are a lot of problems we have in this state, though, that have nothing to do with him. Yes, he's a threat to our democracy. Yes, these ICE raids are abhorrent, a violation of people's civil liberties. At the end of the day, though, there are a lot of problems. Affordability is on, Sacramento's watch, not on DC's.
Right.
And so, we'll work across the aisle. I've done it before, but we'll push back when we have to.
Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate that. If you'd like to learn more about the candidates, the governor's race, and specifically former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, head to foxla.com. We have links to all of the candidates' website. You can download the free Fox Local app.
Here, thank you for coming on. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Still ahead here at LA City leaders. Can you imagine that? At odds over rules to restrict homeless encampments.
We are live from Venice with the story ahead.
I'm Christina Gonzalez in Marina del Rey. A USC student loses an eye during a protest in downtown Los Angeles, and now he is suing.
And in the weather, maybe not much going on right now, but we have some changes coming our way. Santa Ana winds, warm temperatures at the end of the week, and then rain for next week. I'll have those details in my forecast coming up.
A USC freshman who lost an eye during a No Kings protest. You remember those in LA last month? He wants $100 million in damages. This is after a federal agent shot him in the face with a less than lethal projectile.
The teen and his attorney held a news conference today, and Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez was there.
Video of protests outside the downtown LA Federal Detention Center, March 28th. You can see a person wearing red going to the ground. That's 18-year-old Tucker Collins.
One moment I was recording, and then the next thing I know, I can't see. There was no warning. I didn't hear a dispersal order. There was no one throwing anything next to me.
Tucker gets pulled away. The USC aeronautical engineering student is taken to a hospital where doctors could not save his eye.
The fragments were over half an inch long, embedded in Tucker's eye. We have video evidence. It was the Department of Homeland Security that advanced on the fence, and in the moments before Tucker was shot, you can see an officer advancing with what looks to be bear mace. He sprayed that bear mace at people while an officer next to him covered him essentially with a less lethal projectile, which we believe was a 12-gauge shotgun based on what ended up impacting Tucker's eye.
DHS officials describing the crowd on the other side of the fence as agitators, telling Fox 11 they, quote, used the minimum amount of force necessary to protect themselves, the public, and federal property.
I was in no way an agitator. I just had my camera. I was taking photos. I was 30 feet away from the fence. They were shooting at my head, which is in no way never necessary or legal.
We want accountability. We want realistic, meaningful investigations, both at the federal, the state, and the city level into this type of conduct. There should be a ban on FN 303s shooting at people's heads.
No comment from LAPD on whether they should investigate these types of incidents. At this point, they do not. I did ask Collins if, knowing everything he knows now, he would still go to that protest, and he said he would. In Marina Del Rey, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
An hours-long SWAT standoff is over in North Hollywood. Sky Fox over the scene on Stagg Street earlier this afternoon. Investigators say a burglary suspect, possibly armed, was holed up on a property and refused to come out. Took him 8 hours to surrender. LAPD telling Fox 11 that as of now, there's no connection between this burglary and the recent Valley Glen or Valley Village break-ins. A car goes airborne off the 60 freeway, crashing into a Maserati dealership. Happened in the city of Industry overnight. The driver was not hurt. He told CHP investigators that he was on the westbound 60 at the Azusa Avenue off-ramp when he swerved to avoid another car and lost control, sent him flying off the freeway into the dealership.
Demolition of the shuttered Westminster Mall on the OC began this morning, part of a groundbreaking for what will become an open-air residential and commercial development on the 88-acre property. The developer plans to build more than 2,200 rental and for-sale housing units, as well as more than 100 hotel rooms, retail space, promenades, and walking trails. After years of complaints, numerous police and fire calls, tons of illegal dumping, the property at 7779 Varna Ave in North Hollywood is scheduled to be cleaned up Friday by the city of LA. The owners have apparently been ignoring orders to secure and clean the lot, so community residents appealed to their local council member, and the property has been declared a public nuisance. A neighbor describes the conditions.
Homeless people have taken over the property. There have been campers in there. There have been motorhomes in there. They've got tents that are in there. They enter from the back side. The various neighbors in the immediate area have, from their security cameras, front and back, photos of these people on the backside with an AK-47 holding it up.
The LAPD and sanitation crews will clear and secure the site. The cost billed to the property owners. Coming up, hundreds of rescued ducks. Yes, ducks. Do you know you can adopt a duck, Christine?
I did not know that. I want to hear the ending on this one, right? Why they needed to be saved and how you can help the cause ahead.
Sponsored by My Home Sold.
A lovely look here this evening as we look ahead to a really nice week in SoCal. Adam Kruger with the forecast.
Yes, nice, but changing a little bit. First of all, tomorrow we're going to have some clouds show up. Not that that's going to really change other things much. We don't have any rain from that. And then we have a warm up with Santa Ana winds a little bit later this week and a warm weekend coming up. And then we see another change next week. So I'm going to talk all about that here in the next couple of minutes. Let's first look at, I think I have the headlines lined up, which is kind of just what I just said. So we have some windy spots here in the next couple of days, including Santa Ana winds on Friday. Warm Friday through Sunday, and then we still see rain in the forecast next week. I say still because we've been talking about it for a few days, but the timing has shifted a little bit. I'm thinking Tuesday might be the day where we see the rain next week. First, let's start with short-term stuff. So we've got the wind advisory in effect for these areas in this tan color. Now, for each specific region, the time frame is a little bit different. For example, the 5 between Santa Clarita and Fraser Park and parts of the Antelope Valley foothills, that starts at 2 a.m. and goes only until 9 a.m. And then you go up farther north and it's already in effect and goes all the way to Friday morning. And then you see out here like Victorville and Barstow, Thursday morning through early Friday morning. All these in effect because of possible wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Here's another way to view that when we add the forecast gusts on a map here. Moving into tomorrow late day, you can see these magenta colored areas where some of the strongest winds will be. And then notice how the winds change direction. Then we get into a situation here Friday where especially Friday morning, midday, we're going to see some gusty spots in the Santa Ana wind prone areas. There's usually 3 of them. If you think about where the highways cut through the mountains, so the 5, the 15, the 10, those are usually where we find some of those Santa Ana winds when we see a low end event like we're expecting on Friday. That's also going to boost our temperatures though. Overnight tonight, we've got lows that, as you see, will mostly be in the 50s. Of course, we have our microclimates and it's a little different depending on where exactly you live, but most of the greater LA area, mid 50s will be a common low temperature in the morning. And then as we go through tomorrow, again, instead of all the sunshine we've seen lately, it's going to be mostly cloudy, maybe breaking up a little bit later in the day. But temperature-wise, not much different from what we've been seeing lately, which means most areas, once again, will have highs in the 70s tomorrow. Here's the wide view. We'll take you in closer along the coast, more like upper 60s, but inland areas and out to the valleys, the IE, many areas will reach 70s for high temperatures. Okay, now let's look at when things change up for us. So we have this system up here that passes by, doesn't bring any rain or snow, but it does shift the winds. You can see the winds will blow offshore. That's what we call a Santa Ana wind on Friday. So that brings warm and dry conditions. We'll see warm temperatures through the weekend. We've got this system out here on Sunday. It's still a pretty good distance off. Monday, it's nearing. And then Tuesday, we think we're going to at least get some scattered rain out of this. Probably not everywhere in SoCal get some rain, but it'll be scattered. I've got the chance at 40% if you want an exact number on it for Tuesday as it looks right now. Tomorrow's temperatures, lower half of the 70s for the highs, warmer on Friday, 82 Saturday, 79 Sunday. Again, you see that cool down as we get into next week with that possible rain. The Coachella forecast, we of course have weekend 2 coming up Friday through Sunday. It is going to be warm, especially Sunday, a high of 92, but those evenings will be cooling off pretty nicely. And as you see, no rain in the low desert for the upcoming weekend. Back to you.
Coachella weekend 2. Well, still ahead here, the World Cup is a couple of months away, but several host cities have some major concerns.
A look at the issues, plus we have Matthew Seedorf.
Yeah, we're in Venice tonight where a homeless encampment has caused problems for years, but now it's causing controversy in City Hall.
across SoCal. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
A Venice encampment battle splitting City Hall and candidates for mayor.
Residents say it's dangerous, while some leaders say don't clean it up. Let's go live to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf in Venice with more. Matthew?
Yeah, city officials split on this issue of cleaning up this encampment during a vote yesterday. But go ahead and take a look at this encampment. And here we had a closer look at it in the daylight hours. You can see just what it looks like at this troubled intersection here in Venice along Rose Avenue. People yelling profanities, tents, dogs, trash, bicycles taking over the sidewalk. According to neighbors, crime here has been an issue for years. LAPD responding to more than 40 calls in this area this last year, including for assaults. Now in City Hall yesterday, as we were saying, officials considered a motion on whether to ban camping here. 4 members voted against the cleanup, including Councilmember and mayoral candidate Nithya Raman, but still it passed and the cleanup is set for Friday.
For people that were living on the streets in the West Side for economic reasons, people who wanted help, people who were sane enough and sober enough to accept help when it was offered, we already got them. These are individuals that have been offered alternatives again and again and again and are choosing to remain encamped on our streets.
It's not like it's contained, like it's very messy. It's like, I feel like a health issue as well.
The people that are not living it and seeing it every day don't have a full understanding of it. I think if you dealt with it and you had friends get assaulted, you had, that kind of stuff going on, I think you'd feel differently.
When they make you move, though, do they try to offer you assistance and help?
Yeah, they do, but if you don't move on time, then they'll throw your stuff in the trash, and whoever has the stuff there just gets thrown away.
Where are you gonna go?
I don't reside this part of Venice right here, but for those that's over here in Venice, they'll find some place to go. Venice declare some type of lot or place where we can go at. It won't be no friction like it's been in the past.
So 2 of the mayoral candidates really duking it out over the issue at this encampment. Mayor Bass's team sending us a message saying this is who Nithya Raman is. She opposes the law prohibiting encampments next to schools and has voted against hundreds of cleanups, while Raman's team says that 4118 duplicates laws that we already have that regulate camping and at best succeeds in moving homelessness around a neighborhood. We're live tonight in Venice. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Really goes to show you the extent of the issue and how you solve it. There's not really one answer.
Yeah, exactly, and how city officials can have completely different opinions on the approach to how do you handle this. Some wanting to clean up the encampments, others feel like it just pushes people around. It's not useful.
Well, that's what Nithya Raman's rationale has been, right? Consistently, that it doesn't make sense just to move them from A to B as opposed to getting them into housing, which, I guess in an academic sense might have some logic, but if you live there, you can't believe it.
Yeah.
Right?
So Matthew, what's the next step?
I know
there?
residents.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, residents out here have been wanting some sort of real change with this intersection. It's been a problem for years.
Right.
This did pass 11-4 yesterday, so there is a cleanup that's planned here for Friday.
So Matthew, what exactly passed? Like, it's already illegal. Is it was it a resolution to enforce existing laws?
The 4118, which is basically they're going to declare this corner a no camping zone.
Okay.
I did ask the councilwoman, why can the whole city not be a no camping zone?
Yeah.
But, apparently they have to go through and really have a motion and
Right.
declare that and then post the sign. It's a big process.
Right. Yeah, and that's what's happened in other locations. I remember San Vicente, a couple of years ago, was huge for years. It's the same thing. It's a process, and so if you vote against that, you're.
Let's just say it's a very complex issue.
I mean, it is and it isn't, right? It's like you either want to clean up the problem or you don't, or you come up.
We could debate this for a long time.
We could, and I'd be happy to do that, but we got to move on. All right, Matthew, thank you, and I'm glad you got Tracy Park on there to give us her perspective. Activists gathered outside the Intuit Dome in Inglewood tonight They're calling on the city to require body cameras for every Inglewood police officer. Organizer Naji Ali says people coming to events at Intuit are not safe without body cams. There's an event going on at Intuit right now, the Clippers playoff game. The push follows the recent in-custody death of Brian Bostic, which has raised new questions. The 37-year-old Bostic died after a traffic stop and struggle with Inglewood PD. You saw him there kicking. That case is driving demands for transparency and accountability.
I'm an actual Clipper season ticket holder. I was asked to renew my season tickets, and I'm not. I'm not because I don't feel safe driving to the Intuit Dome or driving home, and I won't feel safe until Inglewood police officers have body cameras.
When I heard about Brian Bostic, I felt like I was going back in time. I thought Inglewood had moved forward from police killings, people dying in police custody.
Body cams is also to protect police officers as well. So it's not just the community, it's also the police officers.
City leaders in Inglewood have not announced an immediate plan to roll out body cameras, but activists say they will keep pressuring them until police body cams are in use.
The Persian Gulf remains on a knife's edge today as Iran threatens to shut down all regional trade. Tehran's demanding the U.S. lift the naval blockade that went into effect Monday, though CENTCOM says no ships have breached the line so far. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is escalating the pressure, warning of new sanctions on Iran. He calls the financial equivalent of bombings. Pakistani mediators are in Tehran today trying to extend a fragile ceasefire. The Pentagon is deploying 10,000 additional troops to the Middle East tonight as President Trump says the conflict is very close to over. In Washington, Senator Bernie Sanders is forcing a vote today to block $500 million in weapons sales to Israel, citing what he calls horrific and illegal behavior by the Israeli government.
And President Trump wants to turn the page on the Federal Reserve's Jerome Powell era, but with the nation's debt spiral accelerating nearly $39 trillion, the pressure is mounting. Fox's Caroline Elliott has the latest.
I'll have to fire him, okay? If he's not leaving on time.
President Trump telling Fox Business he plans to fire current Fed Chairman Jerome Powell if he doesn't leave the Fed when his term runs out next month.
I've held back firing him. I've wanted to fire him, but I hate to be controversial, you know?
The president's ongoing fight with Powell goes back to the Fed's hesitation to lower interest rates.
On monetary policy, the Fed needs to be fully politically independent, not reactive to political things at all.
Trump picked Fed Governor Kevin Warsh to take over in May, but one Republican is standing in the way. North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis holds a decisive vote on the Senate Banking Committee, and he's vowed to block Warsh's nomination until the Justice Department drops a criminal probe into Powell.
They got nothing. I mean, it's that simple. It's a bogus investigation. I am off on any vote for Warsh until this gets resolved.
The DOJ's investigation centers around Powell's renovation of the Fed, which has gone way over budget.
A building that I would have done for $25 million that's going to cost maybe $4 billion. Don't you think we have to find out what happened there?
Powell denies any wrongdoing, and Democrats claim Trump doesn't have the authority to fire him.
Donald Trump wants to control the Fed. He wants to destroy the Fed's independence. And the reason he wants to do that is that he wants to try to cover up the problems in this economy. And he thinks he can do that by getting the Fed to juice the economy.
And despite the pushback, D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, who's overseeing the Powell investigation, says there are no plans to drop it. And New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Coming up, we're checking in with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger for the weather.
Well, temperatures lately have been around average for this time of year. We're warming up at the end of the week. Check out Saturday, over 80 degrees. We'll talk more about that, Santa Ana winds, and also a cool down next week with some rain on the way. My forecast coming up after the break.
480. That's a significant lift for us. And so really we are trying to get the word out about coming to adopt so that way we can have better outcomes for these ducks.
All fees are waived, apparently, for the duck adoption.
Where do that many go, and why did this sanctuary have so many?
Well, we're going to put Matthew Seed up on that story tomorrow.
Right.
No, apparently they realized that they couldn't deal with it and called for help, which was good. You know, when my daughter was little, she was obsessed with getting a duck.
Did you get one?
So we got a baby duck.
And?
From like a feed store like in Sunland or something,
And it
which was
grew
really
up to
cute for
be-
about a month.
And then
it grew up to be a large duck, which ended up being set free at Lake Hollywood by Dad. Not much long after that.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I hope
But
it survived
ducks are
in the
cute.
wild.
Yeah, sure. It's a duck. It's at a lake.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If you live in an apartment or something, can you adopt a duck and just take it for a walk on a leash or something down the sidewalk?
You know what?
or-
I saw the story. I'm like, I want to help out. Can I have a duck in my
I
backyard?
think you might need a little. You might need like a cage.
I think it's a great
Yeah.
follow-up as to where these ducks end up.
Yeah.
And do they actually go to like a home?
Yes,
To a
let's
home?
follow up on
Do you split them up and they don't get to see their friends anymore, or you got to keep all 480 together? I don't know.
I was touched by that
Yeah.
story.
Let's talk about our weather now before I run out of time talking about the ducks here. So we've got some nice weather lately. You may have noticed today's 75 downtown. That's a little bit warmer than the normal of 72. We do have a warm up coming though at the end of the week. First though, a look at radar and satellite. Really quiet. You can see up and down the coast and inland, and really just not much for a lot of the state right now. But we do see a massive clouds that's down to our south from this system right here. Now that's going pretty much straight east, meaning it stays far enough south to where it's not going to do a whole lot for us other than just bring more clouds to our sky tomorrow. But the temperatures will be about the same tomorrow. We're not expecting any rain. And then we have this system that's going to pass far to our north. But on the back end of this one, it's going to send Santa Ana winds or offshore winds through our area on Friday, which will be a little bit gusty in some spots, the usual Santa Ana areas. And it's also going to bring our temperatures up and dry our air out a little bit. First, let's look at futurecast going through the night to tomorrow morning. There's the example of the clouds. Now, this is not the typical marine layer or low cloud cover or patchy fog. This is more like mid and high level clouds, but still it'll block out the sun for the first part of the day. Here's a look at noon. Notice by late day, we start to see this cloud deck kind of departing a little bit and we get some sun at the end of the day. Let's talk about those winds now. Again, they are going to be pretty breezy in some areas tomorrow. You can see across parts of the high desert, some of the foothills there in the Antelope Valley, and in the low desert also a little bit on the gusty side. And then we go into Friday and you can see three main spots, and this is usually how this goes when we get a low-end Santa Ana wind event like this is. Usually we find a couple of corridors where the winds are breezy, and if you just an easy way to remember it is where each of our main highways go through the mountains. So the 5, the 15, and the 10. You can see these purple colors here indicating where those winds will kind of be accelerating through some of those canyons. So those will be areas where it's kind of gusty. The rest of a lot of Southern California won't be too windy out of this event on Friday. Temperatures tomorrow, we've got that cool start in the morning. We're going to be back into the 70s in the afternoon, again, just with some extra cloud cover. Across Southern California tomorrow, we have a range from, let's say, 50s in some of the mountains to 80s in the low desert, but most areas, we'll see highs in the 70s, and then along the coast, naturally, it's going to be a little bit cooler. All right, so we've got this system that's going by to our north. I mentioned that, and that's going to give us that wind, that offshore or Santa Ana wind on Friday. And then we're just waiting on this next system to arrive. It's going to be several days out. It doesn't bug us much this weekend. Monday, it's around San Francisco. We start getting some rain, and then scattered showers probably come through here Tuesday of next week. And if you're wondering, an early look at how much rain might come down from this, at least one model says around a quarter inch on average, so it doesn't look like anything too extreme. All right, temperatures will be on the way up with those Santa Ana winds Friday and into Saturday. You can see we were upper 70s, low 80s, warm day on Sunday, and temps going down. This is for LA and Inland Orange County, by the way, with our coolest day next week on Tuesday as we have that chance for some rain. Back to you.
All right, we still have more news ahead at 8.
But first, a preview of what's coming up when I join you in the 9 o'clock hour. Reality star Frankie Paul dodges new domestic violence charges as prosecutors cite insufficient evidence. Plus, continue our animal theme. 2 rescued sea otters are stealing the show at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Meet Suri and Willow. One bold, one social. Why can't they return to the wild? We'll explain ahead at 9.
While scrolling on social media, we've all seen the videos that are obviously AI. What about those that are harder to spot?
Well, many people are not sure they can confidently pick out what's real and what's not. Anna Eliopoulos shares what to look out for while scrolling.
Whether it's a cute animal video or a celebrity deepfake, the vast majority of social media users believe they've encountered content created or altered by AI. Still, less than half, 44% of American adults, are confident they can spot it, according to a recent study by CNET.
It's becoming a lot more concerning when we start thinking about determining what's real, what's fake.
The boomer generation has the lowest confidence to spot the generated content, followed by Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z.
When we start looking at it from a generational standpoint, it really is a takeaway of once they spot that AI photo, video, whatever you name it, it's the action that they take after that's a bit more concerning. So when we think about boomers and Gen X, those are the highest ones that actually do not take action.
In fact, 25% of all people don't do anything to determine if the content they're seeing is real. But for those who take the time to fact-check posts, the majority start by looking for visual cues. Another method is to check for labels or watermarks, or to verify it by searching for the same content somewhere else.
Content is being generated that is very believable, hard to even detect if it is AI generated, but it's very important to consider the source and the information that is being given to you, and of course, always double check that.
The study also shows 21% of adults think that AI-generated content should be banned on social media with no exceptions. An increase in low-quality, mass-produced AI-generated content known as AI slop, prompting tech companies, including Instagram and YouTube, to implement tools to reduce it.
We have to remember that AI content is not something that is banned on social media, and there are still some features that we could see in the future or that we're already seeing that are focused around AI.
Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Well, we're real.
Yeah.
That's all we can
Sometimes we
really
gotta check.
be sure about.
I know, but it can be tricky.
Oh,
Some of those things
absolutely.
look so
It's so
real. I'm like,
well
I've
done.
never seen that mermaid before.
Yeah. You have to like stop and remember
Yeah,
that you should question it.
And
All
we're
right.
in a business where we do fact check.
Yeah.
So, all right, the Dodgers came together today to celebrate the 79th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier.
Ending decades of segregation in Major League Baseball, the Dodgers, joined by the visiting New York Mets today, they all gathered at the Jackie Robinson statue at Dodger Stadium. That's a really cool statue. You've seen that, right? For a team reflection. Jackie debuted for the Brooklyn Dodgers on this day way back in 1947. 79 years after Jackie first took the field, every MLB player and coach wore his number 42 today.
Every player wears 42. Jackie Robinson's number is retired, and it's been such a special day when on April 15th of every single year, every player across Major League Baseball is 42. And it's so that you can't differentiate or discriminate or rule anybody out. Everybody is the same.
The first 40,000 fans at tonight's game got a Jackie Robinson jersey. Every year in the state, Major League Baseball celebrates to honor his legacy as a trailblazer and civil rights icon.
Can you imagine a sea of
that
fans
was cool.
wearing the jersey?
So I was a link today in an LA Times article about this to the Dick Cavett show from the 70s. You remember that name? Had a great interview with Jackie Robinson.
So anyway, more to come.
Live news tonight continues at 9.
cow. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9, a 16-year-old shot just stepped from a middle school campus, and the gunman still on the loose tonight. Plus, federal agents swooping in on Lancaster City Hall and council members' homes in a sudden morning raid.
In Venice tonight, a troubled homeless encampment, why it's causing major controversy in LA City Hall.
In the weather, we've got a system here and another one here. Both of those not doing a whole lot for our weather, so things are quiet for now, but we've got Santa Ana winds to talk about, a warm-up, and rain next week. We'll get to those details coming up.
And good evening, everyone. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Phil Schuman in for Marla Tejas. A 16-year-old boy shot near a middle school campus. Police say the suspect still at large tonight. Fox 11's Ed Lascos in North Hills in the San Fernando Valley with the latest. Ed?
And Phil, that suspect thought to be an 8th grader who is a student over here at the middle school. All of this happening, though, off the campus grounds here. And we know that 16-year-old, the student who is shot, well, he is not a student here. We're told he is a 10th grader from a nearby high school. Joe, take us into the story, will you? This is the front entrance here of the Sepulveda Middle School. All cleared off now. LAPD just removing the yellow crime tape about 10 minutes ago after a wild Wednesday here of gunfire. Watch. Towing away the evidence, these vehicles thought to be hit by the gunfire near an LA middle school. Gunfire that has one student rushed off to the ER, shot after a fight.
The kid got shot, and the kids were running, and there's two kids having a brawl, and a bullet just shot off and shot a kid in the leg, and he was bleeding a lot.
That kid who's hit in the shooting, ID'd by students here as a 10th grader, a 16-year-old boy from a nearby high school, shot, the students claim, by an 8th grader who is a student here at the Sepulveda Middle School. The one who was doing the shooting is a student.
Yes.
Here at the middle school.
Yeah.
The shooting puts the middle school on lockdown as LAPD rushes in looking for the shooter, and parents rush in looking for their kids. From Skyfox, the students all lined up, waiting to be picked up by their parents, some having no idea if their child is even safe.
And one of my son's friends sent me a message saying that they were on lockdown, and they couldn't find my kid. So that's how I found out. Then I called school, and then nobody answers.
And hardly any information coming from the LA school police, only stressing the shooting happened off campus next to the middle school, but close enough for the students here to scramble in panic.
It was one shot, like super loud, and everybody just started running.
Running, screaming.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Pretty crazy, man.
Crazy, he says, and scary for parents, thinking how would the suspected shooter, an 8th grader, even have a gun?
They're your kids. I sent my kids to school good in good conditions and in good hands. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on, she says. Now you're looking live the front of the middle school here. So many parents shaking their heads when they found out about this, coming to pick up their children earlier, saying, how in the world is an 8th grader here at this middle school wind up with a gun and then wind up firing it right after school is dismissed? As for that 16-year-old, last update we got as he was rushed off to the ER, serious condition. We can tell you that the school here, the middle school, Sepulveda Middle School, just off Plummer, just off Sepulveda, is expected to be open first thing in the morning. LAUSD says they'll have extra counselors here to help everybody deal with all of this. Also, LAPD saying they will have extra patrols here in the morning, trying to make everybody feel calm as they're still this late hour, Phil, out looking for the suspected gunman, that 8th grader of all things.
So from what the picture that you painted there was a lot of people. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, how does the suspected shooter just vanish like that?
Well, great question. I can imagine, he's an 8th grader, he fires off a couple of shots and takes off running like a bat at a you-know-where. That's usually what happens. And everybody, at that point, you would think, well, somebody will stop him. But as that youngster was telling us, everybody's just ducking for cover. They're screaming because they don't know if there's going to be more gunfire. Right. So they're running for cover. And the person who's doing the shooting actually does what he's going to do, his dirty work, and he takes off running. And obviously, police, if this is all falling together, they have an idea, a very good idea, who they're looking for tonight. It's just a matter of making that arrest.
All right, Ed, thank you. You could really hear the fear in that woman, that mother in the red that you interviewed. Developing tonight, Lancaster City Council members appear to be at the center.
They're looking for it, and it's just a matter of making that arrest.
All right, Ed, thank you. You can really hear the fear in that woman, that mother in the red that you interviewed. Developing tonight, Lancaster City Council members appear to be at the center of an ongoing FBI corruption investigation of some sort. Agents executed search warrants at the homes of council members and at City Hall this morning. Fox 11's Nick Garcia was in Lancaster.
FBI agents swarmed the home of Lancaster's outgoing Vice Mayor Marvin Christ Wednesday morning and Lancaster City Hall, leaving behind a huge question: why? Skyfox was overhead as this man, appearing to be Christ, sat in the backyard of the home during the raid. Several agents seen carrying packages and paperwork and taking photos. The home of outgoing City Council member Raj Mali was also raided. The Department of Justice could not tell us the reason for the investigation, as the warrants are under seal.
Actually, I'm shocked.
Lancaster Mayor R. Rex Paris says he knew the FBI had been investigating Christ for at least 3 years, but he says he did not know what they were looking into.
We hired law firms to investigate, because I needed to know, was there anything that I should know about as the mayor? And they came back and said no. I'm really kind of at a loss. I know that I've served with these two men for over 18 years, and they've always been honorable.
I wish I could say I was shocked. I wish I would say I was surprised. Something was already brewing.
Community activist Miguel Coronado says he's been suspicious of corruption for years.
I'm calling on the city of Lancaster to suspend all contracts that Marvin Christ has been involved in, that the mayor has been involved in, until all this is settled.
The mayor's response:
so let's wait before we destroy people's reputations when we don't even know what it's about. I would just caution people, let's be mature adults and let's wait for the facts.
Now, we did ask Mr. Christ if he would speak with us on camera, but he declined. Meanwhile, Mayor Paris says he was never asked himself by the FBI to be interviewed or be involved in the investigation. He does say, though, he knows others were asked to wear wires. In Lancaster, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
In Riverside County, a fast-moving fire, a wildfire in Harupa Valley, left 3 people hurt, forced evacuations. They called it the Yearling Fire. Broke out about 4 this afternoon behind homes in the Pedley community. Burned about 35 acres so far. 1 person hospitalized during evacuations. 2 had smoke inhalation. Cal Fire says it's about 25% contained, but there are strong winds out there that are spreading the fire.
Turns out that I was here at this gentleman's house in the back that started catching on fire. I was actually on my way to school as a medical assistant, and I stopped by because I understand that they have livestock, and we were trying to get the livestock out. This area typically catches on fire because of the dry weeds, but for it to spread down this fast is really unusual. If it wasn't for the boys coming out and putting the water hoses and digging the holes that they needed to, honestly, I don't know how this property would be right now.
Residents along Yearling Way and Gray Mare Drive have been evacuated. You see crews working there to control that spread. All right, time once again to check back with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger as we take a live look at the lights of the San Fernando Valley. Adam?
Yeah, quiet night, a little gusty in some spots, though. We're going to start right there in terms of the wind. So we have wind advisories for these areas pretty far north of L.A. The area is marked in brown right here for gusts up to 45 miles per hour. So each specific region has a slightly different time frame for when it's into effect and when it ends. But the theme is the same. Gusty winds generally blowing from the northwest, gusts up to 45 in those locations. And for some of those areas, that extends into Friday. But Friday is also a day when the wind direction is going to change a little bit for us. So let's look at this in a different format here. Our forecast gusts with the numbers on here indicating gusts in miles per hour, what they might be at specific times. So now we're looking late day tomorrow. And again, we've got some of the mountains, but more so the deserts where those winds will be kind of strong. And then I want to show you Friday here with the winds flipping around. Now they're going to be blowing offshore, which is a Santa Ana wind where the winds go from land towards ocean. And when this happens, we tend to get drier air and warmer temperatures. And there's going to be these 3 main spots right here where it's going to be especially gusty. Those are areas highlighted in purple. Quick look at your temperatures then for tonight. We're going to find lows mostly in the 50s, and then tomorrow we've got more clouds showing up, but still similar temperatures to today. with highs in the 70s. It's the end of the week when we warm up, though. We'll talk more about that in our forecast coming up a little later. Phil?
All right, we'll do. Eric Swalwell's nameplate officially taken down from his Capitol Hill office today. The now former congressman resigned, of course, and ended his bid for California governor this week following all those allegations of sexual assault and misconduct, which he denies. But he has apologized for what he describes as mistakes in judgment. An effort to fill Swalwell's vacated seat is already underway in California. The governor has set a special election for August 18th. 9 candidates looking to take Swalwell's seat since his announcements that he would run for governor. They're set to face off in that June 2nd primary. Now a special primary will happen 2 weeks later for that office. Political experts say the candidates running for that long-term seat have to weigh the options of running in the special election.
May not want to advantage someone else who seems to be the incumbent, even though they're serving just temporarily to fill out Eric Swalwell's term. So it's a bit of giving the person the advantage of being perceived as having an incumbency-like quality.
The winner of that Swalwell special election would only serve about 4 months. Governor Newsom likely wants the special election to avoid losing a Democratic seat in the House. Meantime, the LA County District Attorney said today that his office will investigate the rape and sex assault allegations along with law enforcement.
If and when that investigation results in a report to the LADA's office to consider criminal charges, at that point we will conduct an additional analysis to determine whether any criminal charges are appropriate, and if so, we will bring them.
And the attorney for one of the women who says Swalwell drugged and raped her in a Beverly Hills hotel says now that 3 additional women reached out to her with similar claims. So far, 5 have come forward. Swalwell's lawyer says he denies each and every allegation of sexual misconduct and assault. As we mentioned, Governor Newsom set August 18th for the special election to replace Swalwell. And still developing tonight, more than 40,000 UC workers are set to begin an historic open-ended strike next month to dispute sentences on wages and housing aid, with the union claiming many employees are just priced out of campus communities because of the high cost of living. California University system calls the walkout, quote, unnecessary, citing a proposed 32% pay raise over 5 years. Up next here, a stunning blow to Live Nation. A federal jury delivered a massive verdict that could change the face of concert going forever. And a Venice encampment, another one, sparks a City Hall firestorm as mayoral hopefuls clash over what is the best way to clear the streets. Plus, a powerful endorsement. That's Joe Rogan throwing his support behind Spencer Pratt as the LA mayoral candidate vows to unseat Karen Bass. AMC Theaters raising the price of its Stubbs A-List subscription by $2, bringing it to $29.99 a month starting mid-July. The membership includes up to 4 movies a week, reserved seating, and perks like popcorn upgrades. AMC says the increase is due to rising operating costs. Developing tonight, a huge blow to the world's biggest concert giant. A federal jury in New York delivers a verdict against Live Nation, declaring the company an illegal monopoly. Fox 11's Gina Silva tells us what that means.
A jury found that Live Nation was not playing by the rules, and it has been hurting consumers.
I think all monopolies suck.
On the street, music fans who spend big money on concert tickets say they're not surprised. A New York federal jury found Live Nation illegally running a monopoly.
It's horrible. I'm glad that there's been attention drawn to it.
What they say you're going to pay, that we don't have a choice to shop around. If people had a choice to shop around, things would probably be a lot different.
That's exactly what the jury decided. Live Nation controls the venues, the promoters, and Ticketmaster. Prosecutors say that means fans have nowhere else to go, and prices stay high. In addition, artists are forced to choose Live Nation promoters.
So if an artist wanted to book an event at a Live Nation venue, they couldn't use their own promoters, or they couldn't use a third-party ticketing company.
Nima Rahmani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, calls it a huge win for concert goers, but says don't hold your breath for a refund.
Consumers who have paid for tickets already may not see money back because this wasn't a class action or a lawsuit filed by the concert goers. This was filed by the Department of Justice and the Attorney Generals trying to change Live Nation's behavior going forward. Now, the judge can still award damages, but that money may not necessarily make its way into the pockets of the people who have already paid.
Live Nation is disputing the verdict and plans to file an appeal. I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
The skyline of downtown Los Angeles on a Wednesday night. Let's check in with Adam Kruger for another update on our weather. Adam.
Weather's looking good. It's a quiet Wednesday night. Things will remain relatively uneventful for the rest of the week for most areas. But there are, of course, our microclimates, and things are going to be changing up in some spots. We got some winds. We talked about that earlier. Wind advisories in a couple locations. And Santa Ana winds at the end of the week, which means a warm-up is on the way. First, though, let's look at radar satellite right now. Radar would show rain. We have none of that. Satellite hardly showing some clouds, maybe just a little bit out over the ocean right now. But as we back this out a little farther, you can see more of a mass of clouds off towards our south stemming from this low. Now, this thing is going straight east. It's not coming towards us. It's not bringing any rain, but what it will do is just bring us more clouds gradually tonight and into tomorrow. So kind of a mostly cloudy Thursday for us, but temperature-wise about the same as today. Then we have this system up here. That's going to pass way off towards our north, but that's the one that's going to change our wind direction and bring the Santa Ana winds by Friday. First, let's look at Futurecast, which will show those clouds again kind of filling in overnight. This won't be marine layer clouds, more of like mid and high level clouds instead of the low stuff and patchy fogs. There's none of the low clouds here, but enough to kind of block out the sun at times on Thursday morning and midday, and then that batch of clouds gradually starts exiting late day tomorrow. Okay, temperatures tomorrow will be very pleasant and just like we've seen for the last couple of days now. And of course, there's differences depending on your exact location. Kind of cool in the mountains, very warm in the low desert in the 80s, but high desert is 70s. And then we've got 70s around a lot of the greater LA area, into the valleys, the Inland Empire as well. Along the coast, a little bit cooler with temperatures there topping out in the upper 60s tomorrow. Again, this system is going way off towards our north, but the winds go like this, counterclockwise around it, and that's going to help feed those winds right through some of our canyons here, especially where the highways cut through the mountains. The 5, the 15, the 10, those are some of the usual Santa Ana wind corridors. So that's what we'll find on Friday, where the winds will be a little bit gusty as we continue through the weekend. Other than just some passing clouds, it's pretty uneventful, and it is warm ahead of this next system. Now, notice Sunday, it's not bugging California too much. Sunday night to Monday, Northern California gets some of that rain, and then that should spread into our area by Tuesday of next week. So that's our next chance for some rain. And I say it like that because it's going to be scattered most likely, meaning it won't be a widespread round for everyone, but some areas will get some rain probably on Tuesday. Temperatures over the next several days, we're going up a little bit. The next couple of days, Saturday's our warmest, and then we start going back down, with Tuesday being our coolest as we have the chance for rain that day. For the coast, it's a nice end to the week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have temps in the 70s. For the valleys, the IE, those temps going up as well, with 80s expected Friday through Sunday. Again, you see that drop off heading into next week. The mountains, we've got you in the 50s, but then warming to 60s over the weekend. Quick look at the deserts here. There's the high desert around 80 this weekend, and in the low desert, of course, Coachella weekend too. Going to be a little hot there, upper 80s to low 90s. Phil?
Thank you, Adam. Coming up, reality star Taylor Frankie Paul dodges new domestic violence charges. We'll explain the prosecutor's decision. Police in Australia are investigating singer Katy Perry after an actress named Ruby Rose accused Perry of sexual assault at a Melbourne nightclub, but it goes back to 2010. Rose is known for a role in Orange is the New Black. She claims the incident, yes, it happened 15 years ago. Perry has strongly denied the allegations, calling them, quote, dangerous and reckless lies. Melbourne's Sexual Offences and Child Abuse Investigation team is handling the case. No further details released. And Utah reality star Taylor Frankie Paul will not face domestic violence charges, according to prosecutors there, due to insufficient evidence and the statute of limitations. Paul is known for her role on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, previously pleaded guilty to assaulting her ex-boyfriend Dakota Mortensen. That was back in 2023. Allegations from another separate incident remain under investigation, and her season of The Bachelorette, that's been canceled. Madonna is back. The pop icon just announced a sequel to her 2005 album Confessions on a Dance Floor, set to drop July 3rd, her first album in 7 years. Fans can expect the same high-energy dance floor vibes that defined the original. All right, still ahead. A heated clash over a Venice homeless encampment is in some ways dividing LA City Hall, and it's forcing mayoral candidates to take a stand. Plus, speaking Speaking of mayoral candidates, Spencer Pratt scores a major boost from podcaster Joe Rogan. We have the highlights from today's podcast.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
A Venice encampment battle is splitting City Hall and candidates for mayor. Residents say it's dangerous, while some leaders say it doesn't make sense to clean it up right now. Let's go live to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf in Venice with more. Matthew?
Yeah, Phil, this is the controversial encampment, so to speak. In the last year, police have responded here almost 40 times. Some city officials want to clear it up, others don't. The Venice intersection, overwhelmed by homeless and crime, now a political battleground.
I've lost my rocks.
Just mayhem. It was absolutely crazy. I watched a guy get shot and killed across the street.
Tents, dogs, and bicycles taking over the sidewalk on Rose. Residents that live in the area are concerned about safety.
What is safety? I mean,
sore sights for families trying to decide whether to walk through.
Councilmember Rahman, you want to vote on 67 separately?
At LA City Council, debate over whether to ban camping on this corner.
11 ayes, 4 noes.
Councilmember and mayoral candidate Nithya Raman joined by 3 others voting no. How can council members not in your district vote no against issues impacting your constituents?
I don't know. That is a head scratcher to me.
This is Councilwoman Tracy Park's district, where police responded to almost 40 calls this last year, including assaults.
These are individuals that have been offered alternatives again and again and again, and are choosing to remain encamped on our streets.
Mayor Karen Bass's office blasting Rahman's vote, telling us she opposes the law prohibiting encampments next to schools and has voted against hundreds of cleanups. Rahman firing back, saying there's already laws to regulate camping, adding this, at best, succeeds in moving homelessness around a neighborhood.
Go take a look at Council District Rahman's district, and why don't you talk to her constituents about how they feel having violent, unregulated, chaotic encampments near their schools and in their parks.
Cleaning on Friday. City crews now set to move in. Do you want to get into a shelter?
Not a shelter, but I'm saying any other thing. Shelters, me and shelters don't do each other, you know what I mean?
This man from New York has been rapping out here for 25 years.
Take me back when I was only a seed.
He and others who refuse help, soon to move again.
Declare some type of lot or place where we can go at, you know what I mean? It won't be no friction like it's been in the past.
So despite the opposition, that cleanup is scheduled to move forward on Friday. We're live tonight in Venice. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So where does the councilwoman say these folks are going to go?
So typically when they come out here, they bring the outreach teams, they offer assistance, they offer possible treatment. At this point of time, people have the right to refuse those services, and then, you know, they'll likely find a new place to set up camp.
So doesn't that give some credence to Rahman and others' argument that you're just moving them from, you know, First Street to Second Street?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you can see both sides, right? Because at one point you are cleaning up this area that's been a problem for people here. You're trying to get them off the street and get them help. So, yeah, I mean, I think people just have a lot of different opinions on this.
All right, Matt, go get some tea and honey. We'll check back with you in the 10 o'clock hour. New tonight, podcast superstar Joe Rogan officially backing Spencer Pratt for mayor of Los Angeles. During a 2-hour sit-down today, Rogan praised Pratt's no-nonsense plan to fix the homeless and wildfire crisis. Pratt, as you I'm sure know by now, lost his own home to flames in 2025 in the Palisades. Says he's the outsider that LA needs, running to bring real change. He raised questions about where money for fire aid and the homeless crisis is going.
Not going to just their salaries. There's actual cases now with the DOJ and the feds. They're arresting people who are just stealing $30 million, $20 million, buying Bentleys, mansions in Brentwood. The fire aid, the law firm says in their own little 3-page document where they're defending fire aid, they say several of the money went directly to fire victims. It was definitely under 10.
A UCLA poll released last month shows Pratt trailing LA Mayor Karen Bass with 11% support compared to the mayor's 25%. Meantime, Los Angeles City Council member Nithya Rahman, who you heard from in Matthew's report, holds third place with about 9% of voters. Activists gathering outside the Intuit Dome in Inglewood tonight as the Clippers play in against the Golden State Warriors, urging the city to require body cameras for all Inglewood police officers. Organizers say events at that venue aren't safe, in their opinion, without them. Now, this comes after the in-custody death of 37-year-old Brian Bostic after a traffic stop and a struggle with Inglewood PD last month. This is video of the incident. It's sparking calls for accountability.
I'm an actual Clipper season ticket holder. I was asked to renew my season tickets, and I'm not. I'm not because I don't feel safe driving to the Intuit Dome or driving home, and I won't feel safe until Inglewood police officers have body cameras.
When I heard about Brian Bostic, I felt like I was going back in time. I thought Inglewood had moved forward from police killings, people dying in police custody.
Body cams is also to protect police officers as well. So it's not just the community, it's also the police officers.
So far, city leaders have not committed to a timeline for rolling out cameras, if at all. The activists say they will keep the pressure on. Their message is accountability starts with that video. Local officials representing various World Cup host cities are voicing some concerns about security, transportation, immigration enforcement. A Senate committee held a hearing today in D.C. on how the U.S. is preparing to host millions of visitors for the world's biggest sporting event. Republicans pointing out $625 million has been made available to help cities prepare. Democrats claim, though, that President Trump's immigration crackdown is keeping fans away. They even raised the possibility of ICE agents patrolling World Cup matches.
Should be a unifying event. Unfortunately, the President of the United States has represented just the opposite. And he's been scaring off fans from around the world who want to come here to cheer on their teams.
This is an important moment in our country's history. It is an opportunity to demonstrate the strength of our coordination at every level of government.
The World Cup kicks off on June 11th in Mexico City. Games are being held in 11 U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, Santa Clara, and Seattle. The shuttered Westminster Mall is coming down. Demolition began this morning, part of a groundbreaking for a massive redevelopment on the 80-acre site. Talking about housing units, hotel, retail space, open-air promenades, and walking trails. New tonight, relief landing in your mailbox. Governor Gavin Newsom in California says $520 million in utility credits will start this week. The average gas customer, for example, will see an automatic $40 discount this month, with bigger electric credits coming this summer to help with cooling your home during peak heat. San Francisco-based shoe company Allbirds making a major shift to AI, artificial intelligence, after selling many of its assets at a steep discount. The company is rebranding as Newbird AI, secured $50 million in financing to invest in graphics processing units, sending its stock soaring 600% to $17 a share. American Gladiators, remember that show? It's making a comeback. Up next, the reboot hits Amazon Prime this April. We speak with one of the gladiators, Huntress, and two rescued sea otters stealing the show. Meet Suri and Willow, one bold, one social. We'll explain what their problems are. Adam?
All right, and we've had temperatures lately that have been around normal for this time of year, but we're going to warmer than normal levels at the end of the week, especially Saturday. See that 82. We're also talking about Santa Ana winds and another weather change with rain next week. Those details coming up.
Those are the Dodgers coming together today at the stadium to celebrate the 79th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier, ending decades of segregation for Major League Baseball. The Dodgers, joined by the visiting New York Mets, they all gathered at the Jackie Robinson statue at Dodger Stadium. Jackie debuted for the Brooklyn Dodgers on this day way back in 1947. 79 years after he first took the field, every MLB player and coach wore Jackie's number 42 today.
Every player wears 42. Jackie Robinson's number is retired, and it's been such a special day when on April 15th of every single year, every player across Major League Baseball is 42. And it's so that you can't differentiate or discriminate or rule anybody out. Everybody is the same.
In fact, the first 40,000 fans at tonight's game got a pretty nice treat, a Jackie Robinson jersey. Every year on this date, MLB celebrates Jackie Robinson Day to honor his legacy as a trailblazer and civil rights icon. Well, the famed American Gladiator show is making a comeback. The reboot set to premiere April 17th. That's Friday on Amazon Prime. On our Fox local stream, I spoke to one of the gladiators, Huntress. Here's some of that interview. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell me about the reboot.
The reboot, we're back. We're bigger, we're better, and we're on Amazon Prime.
Right.
So after decades, the biggest show, I say the biggest show, that might be a little biased, but the biggest show in American history is back.
So the concept is what, for people that aren't familiar with it?
Concept is there are 24 contenders going against 16 superheroes.
Which is what you are.
Of course.
All right.
And these 24 contenders are trying to win $100,000, and us 16 gladiators are trying to stop them.
And we're looking at some video of it.
Yeah.
And so there's different sort of tests of strength, agility,
speed, power, everything.
Now you look like you're in pretty good shape. How do you?
I'm in great shape.
How do you qualify to be a gladiator?
I have a background in track
you're a
and
trainer.
powerlifting.
Powerlifting, gotcha.
So track and powerlifting, speed, power, all of those things. So when it comes time to qualify being an American Gladiator, I lift over 500 pounds. So.
Like in a week?
In one day.
At one time?
At one time. Deadlifting 500 pounds.
You deadlift 500 pounds?
Yes. Up and down.
Wow.
I can do it.
What do you bench?
I bench 195 pounds.
Wow. That is impressive.
Thank you.
So, the original show was like 1989. I mean, were you even born then? Do you even hear of it?
I was born. I was born the year it ended.
Yeah.
So all of the when it came time to watching old videos, it was all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was watching
Everything's on YouTube.
Everything's on YouTube.
Including this.
Yep. So when it came time to watch it, I was watching it in terms of like watching film. I was watching studying like, oh, I like what Zap did. I like what Blaze did. I like what Ice did. Oh, Nitro, that was a good move. I'm going to use it. So I was watching it like I was watching film because I'm a gladiator.
The contestants, you try to kick their butts and they try to kick yours. But who are they? I mean, they're obviously fit people. They're not like people
fit.
off the street.
They're a couple of them were all right.
Yeah.
But we have the producers and execs, they tried their best to bring some pretty good contenders. The contenders do have amazing stories from ex-military to some moms, some office workers, some nurses. So we have a little bit of everything.
So what was like, would you say, the toughest battle? I mean, we're looking at these batons. I'm not sure what the correct terminology for that. There's wrestling. Jousting. So what was the toughest part of it physically?
I would say the toughest for me came to the tackling.
Tackling.
That was something I had to learn.
And do men fight women and vice versa?
No, we don't.
Oh, it's same sex.
Same sex. So came to tackling is something that I had to learn because I came
like football tackling?
Yeah, we full on tackle. No pads though.
Yeah.
Body to body contact.
So it's like someone's trying to get by you and you're trying
full
to stop.
Full speed, tackle, going for it.
See, I wish we had some like mats in here or something because we could have, done some stuff.
We're gonna have to next time.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to next time.
So this was taped in France?
It was.
Was that pretty cool?
It was so cool. I mean,
Or
Taped
were
in
you just
France.
work all day long?
We were working majority of the time. I'd say 90% of the time we were working.
Did you get to do any fun activities?
Didn't get to do too many
Eiffel
fun
Tower?
activities. A little bit. Got to see it, and that was so cool. But most of the time we were working, but I loved every minute of it.
So this has already been taped. Obviously, we know the results have happened, but you are not allowed to talk about them.
Can't say.
But can you say any like the highlights or what the coolest part was?
I would say the coolest part was stepping into the arena, hearing my name and seeing my name in lights, and also the crowd interaction and seeing them.
They loved it.
Oh, they love it.
It was a French crowd. They go nuts for this stuff?
Nuts. But we had some Americans there as well.
What does your mother think of this?
She was not surprised. Like, from everything that I've done.
I mean, because you've been like an athlete.
I've been an athlete. And I remember telling her that, like, Mom, I just got the call to be an American Gladiator. She was like, okay. And then when I told her all of it, she just was like, wasn't surprised. This is something that isn't far out of my wheelhouse.
No, I mean, if you're a trainer, and so right now, like when you finish with the show, do you work out like 7 days a week? I mean, do you go to
6 days a week with one rest day. Always at the gym. Gym, eat, sleep, train, repeat.
And how much protein do you eat a day?
150 grams of protein. Got to get the protein in.
You don't weigh 150.
No, I weigh 138 pounds.
Yeah. So I mean, is this a career for you? I mean, was this a one-time thing? Is it going to be every season?
God willing that it's a on-time thing. Keep going.
You could be a return
Yes,
gladiator.
that's the hope. Back in the day, they had 8 seasons and a live tour. So fingers crossed.
I could see it being a live tour.
That's what we want. We want to bring it back. So the goal is America will absolutely love this. They eat it up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they want us to come back.
So, Adam, she was pretty cool to talk to and seemed like she was just like ripped and could kick my. And the show looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And the winner gets $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, very cool. Excited about that. I'm going to be rooting for her. I mean, normally you root for the contestant, right? But she's awesome. I was sitting here when you were doing that interview earlier today with her and listening in it, and I'm a big fan. I love the show, the original. Like when I was watching it when I was a kid, I'd stay up late. I forget what age I was, but watch the show. My favorite event was they had the tennis ball cannon, and the contestant would have to like go through an obstacle course, and they try to nail him with a tennis ball. That was a fun one. And Nitro was like one of the gladiators I remember from back in the day. I love that the show is back. Hope it has a nice long run. I hope Huntress sticks with it as well. Okay, so let's talk about our weather now. We've got windy spots for the next couple of days, including some Santa Ana winds on Friday. We've got a warm Friday through Sunday. And we still have some rain in the forecast next week, but I've adjusted the timing a little bit. Now it looks like maybe Tuesday might be the most likely day that we get some rain around here. Here's what we see with our pattern right now. Things are quiet for California. There's a system up here that's going to help bring some of that wind on Friday. I'll show you where it goes in a moment. There's another one here which stays way to our south, but all that's going to do is just shove some clouds into our skies tomorrow. So it's not going to be as sunny as it's been, but otherwise the weather's not that different. We're still going to see nice temperatures. Many areas get highs in the 70s. These areas in brown, those are where we see wind advisories for gusts up to 45 miles per hour. I've got the start and end times on each of those. If you want to kind of focus on your specific area, it's all kind of different. But the point is Thursday it's going to be pretty windy across the high desert and somewhat into Friday as well. So let's look at that a different way. Here's forecast wind gusts. This is starting tomorrow morning. Watch as we go through the day. You're really going to see the purple colors kind of fill in here up to the north. That's where the winds are going to be strongest. Gusts over 30 or 35 for those locations. And then watch the wind change direction and kind of squeeze through some of the canyons or the highway corridors as we get into Friday. So this is that Santa Ana wind, and across part of the 5, 15, the 10, those are our main Santa Ana wind-prone areas. So it's not like it's windy for all of LA out of this one, but just those usual spots when we get these low-end Santa Ana wind events. All right, tomorrow, again, mostly cloudy for a good part of the day, partly cloudy later on. Temperatures topping out in the 70s tomorrow for most areas. The warmest spot will be out towards Palm Springs in the 80s. The mountains will be the coolest. Along the coast, we see some upper 60s, and then again, you see those 70s inland. Pretty nice temps on the map right there. All right, so we have that system that's going to pass by to our north. You can see there's rain and snow with this. That all stays far from here, but what happens, the winds go counterclockwise around the low, and they kind of feed down through Southern California in the offshore or Santa Ana wind direction. So going from land towards ocean, that's what brings us warm and dry weather. So we'll see that Friday. Not much change through the weekend, maybe a little cloud cover at times. But here's the next rain-making system. So that's way off still on Sunday. Monday, it's affecting Northern California, and then we have some scattered rain, as you see coming through here, we think Tuesday of next week. So on our 7-day, we've got 70s tomorrow, but warmer Friday with more sun back. 82 on Saturday, 79 on Sunday. Temperatures do go down next week, especially Tuesday with that chance for some rain. Let's switch over to the low desert, which would include the Coachella Valley. Of course, a lot of people there this weekend for weekend 2 of the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival, to give it the official title. And it's going to be warm this weekend for sure. You know, it has been hotter for Coachella before, but 92 on Sunday, and then those temperatures cooled off pretty nicely in the evening. Lows will get down to the 60s there. No rain in the forecast for the low desert until Tuesday, maybe just a little something out there, but it's more so going to be around the LA area where we see that rain on Tuesday. Phil?
You could take your attention to the liquor section. Meet me there for a taste of what I would call the best tequila in the business. It's called Gran Coromino. Meet me in the liquor section to see what all the hype is about.
You recognize that man, Kevin Hart. He was at a Costco in Marina del Rey today, signing bottles of his tequila brand and posting videos to the gram. Fans could purchase bottles of Gran Coromino tequila and meet the actor. Big news for fans of the Lord of the Rings franchise. According to Variety, actor Jamie Dornan has officially been cast as the new Aragorn in the upcoming prequel called Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. It's set before the events of the Fellowship of the Ring. Dornan is taking over the iconic role from Viggo Mortensen, but there will be franchise favorites returning, such as Ian McKellen and Elijah Wood. That is set to debut in December of 2027. And a magical train ride's coming to Southern California. The SoCal Railway Museum will host a Harry Potter Hogwarts Express adventure starting this summer. Fans can step into the wizarding world with themed train rides, interactive exhibits, photo ops. Brings the magic of Harry Potter to life. Tickets go on sale April 28th. And do you want to help name Jackie and Shadow's 2 adorable eaglets? Coming up, we'll tell you how to make your pick. Before we head to break, we're taking a live look from the Earth Cam at Lake Norman. This is in Norman, North Carolina. The North Carolina Wildlife Federation live streams bird's eye view of osprey and heron rookery nests. It's out of control.